My dad comes to the house and he says, "We got to leave the country."
Oh, 13 years old.
Yeah. And you know, I'm like, I have my friends here. We were living in Barranquilla at that moment. I was going to Casa de la Cultura. So I had a very like beautiful surrounding of like music around and my family, and you know, I didn't have anybody here in the United States. But my dad comes and he says like, you know, we gotta go. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, because otherwise I'll get killed. Like
Ah,
that. I mean, my family was very, very straight up. They were very honest with everything growing up, and were very, very believers in God. And at that moment, we felt that the best decision that God was putting in our hands was the ability of leaving the country. And my dad said, I am gonna grab everything you have, and I am gonna bring you guys to the United States, and we're gonna ask for political asylum, and we'll start all over as long as we're all together.
and was your family doing well in Colombia?
Yeah, we were middle class, so we were good, we were comfortable. My dad used to work for the ICA, so it was the veterinarian, and so he was, you know, was very well off in that aspect. And then my mom was a stay-home mom. Her purpose was just to make sure that we were just studying, and like, you know, that upbringing that was very like nurturing. And
We just had Mother's Day. Mothers are extremely important.
yeah,
I think that's one of the most important jobs, making sure that stability with the family.
yes.
So, Dad, this key figure in your family and in society, says to his family and a 13-year-old daughter, "We're going to leave, and we don't have any friends. We don't have a business. We're basically going to plead to the United States government for asylum because of all the violence that was happening." How scary was that for you?
Oh my God. So that was probably the hardest moment of my life. Uncertainty, you know, like you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know the language. I always loved English, but I've never really paid attention to English classes. And I'm like, now I really need it. I'm like, I'm moving to a country. I don't know any English. I regret not paying attention to English classes. I was like, and I am never going to see my family. That's what I was thinking. I'm never going to see my grandpa, my mom, everybody. I was like, what am I going to do? And my dad, and then, you know, as a kid, you always have your things growing up that you cherish, you know. And my dad was like, you're not taking anything, only take one thing and one luggage. Of course, a violin. That's my one thing and my
So
one
one
luggage.